Hi guys. So this is me doing the challenge video for you. Plus I figured it was about time I did an updated one. I definitely have more to my story to add, and I look a lot different. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's still good to keep it updated. So here's my video for you guys to show you kind of a little bit about what I mean. So you all already know me, but my name is Christine Windover, and I am a superstar director with Scentsy, and I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I actually live in Timberley, but I like telling people Halifax because they actually know where that is. And you guys, lots of the team kind of giggle about that because I don't take it as seriously as those of you who grew up here. Anyways, I am a mom and a stepmom already. So that's new to my story. We're not officially married, but we might as well be living together. I have two sons of my own that I made from scratch, I like to tell them. Jacob is going to be 10 in a couple weeks. He's going to be 10 in the middle of this program, which is insane. I can't believe I have a 10-year-old. Anyways. And Noah is 7.5. So my Scentsy story began in October of 2010. Noah was under 1. He was just about 1, and we had just moved here from out west. I grew up in Alberta, and I'd been in Saskatchewan. My ex-husband, their dad, was in the military, and we came here on a compassionate posting because his brother and wife lived here. And there's a trauma treatment center on the base here for those with operational stress injuries. So we had moved here for that. I'd always kind of had this obsession with the Maritimes, and it's not cheap to visit around Canada, and I figured I might as well come live here on a posting. So I told my mom it would just be 5 years, and here we are 7 years later. So that's what brought me to Halifax. I have a background in social work. That's the degree I got in university, and I worked in Edmonton. And in Saskatchewan a little bit. I worked in social work. But I had a new baby when we moved here, and obviously a lot on the go. Jacob was 3 and showing extreme signs of ADHD, and they were concerned and wanted to assess for autism. And Noah stopped gaining weight and was sweating when he nursed and being tested for multiple things at the IWK and appointments all over the place. So I felt like a failure at everything, and obviously hindsight's 2020. It was showing in my personality, and to those close to me. The stress that I was under, and I just was not happy. But I knew I was in no place to be doing social work and helping other people, and putting 2 kids in childcare is a lot of money. So I knew I wanted to stay home with my kids always anyways, and I had tried direct sales before having kids, but didn't stick with it because of the requirements, and I felt like I was spending more than selling. I definitely had a lot of great stuff in my kitchen, but I did not feel like direct sales was for me. I struggled to get parties, and I never had one recruit in the 2.5 years I was with that company. But I was also working full-time at the same time. So in the fall, I had gone on a trip alone with the baby, because the babies came everywhere with me when they were young. And I'd seen a Facebook post from a friend I had worked with in child protection in Alberta about this company Scentsy and how there were next to no consultants in the Maritimes. So she was just asking if any of her Facebook friends had friends and family out here, and I said, I'm here. And what was supposed to be a night of, renting a movie in my hotel room and room service turned into researching this thing called Scentsy and seeing nothing bad on the internet about it. Her passion for the company was huge and obvious, and she'd already earned a free trip to Hawaii, and it sounded so possible for anybody, not just the top people, because she was brand new, and she'd only been in it a year, and had gone to Hawaii that June. And concept of the product was a no-brainer, obviously. So I thought about it for a few days. My mom said, what do you got to lose? It's $119 and you get all that stuff. Megan, my sponsor, was willing to send me product to try first. And I was like, no, I want to take this opportunity. This sounds good. I asked her all the questions. I read the agreement online word for word and asked her questions she didn't even know how to answer. I had to go change my name on my SIN card to my married name because I didn't want to sign up with my maiden name. I prepared and I joined. And I wanted to give it a real shot. And I knew it was a chance to get out and meet people. I just moved here and bring in a little bit of extra money. We were very paycheck to paycheck on just a lowly non-commissioned member's salary of the military. So that was my start. I didn't get my kit for 2 weeks in November. I had my open house on probably the windiest day I'd ever experienced yet. Hadn't been through a hurricane here yet, but it was nuts. So tons of people that I did know canceled and didn't want to make the drive. And I booked an event. I bought some stock. So I basically bought my shooting star. And I bought some stock and I went and did a craft show at the Hammonds Plains Fire Hall. And people's reaction to the product was amazing and showed me I'd made a good decision. And I knew that I just needed to really run with it with this opportunity I had being one of the first ones. I definitely met lots of challenges in the first few years. By the way, if you're thinking, oh my God, I think I can't do this for 7 minutes, you don't have to do it this long. I just realized I should do an updated one for those of you that haven't heard my whole story yet. So no, you guys do not need to go on for this long. Don't stress. Anyway, my ex-husband had come along to help with the baby and keep the baby near me. And I looked at him and I was like, this is going to be good. I knew it. I had this feeling with the way people, like, they weren't really going to buy it, but they were asking questions about it and they loved the concept. I knew it didn't exist any other way. And I had stopped burning candles when my memory went out the door with my pregnancies, and I was so worried about forgetting to blow them out. And I only ever had them in sconces on the wall because of my dog. So I even still have one up because it's a pretty sconce and I need to replace it with something else. The candles haven't been lit inside it in 7 years. So I can see it from here. That's why I'm laughing. So that was my Scentsy story. I did not earn my a trip that fall, but again, I didn't know anybody and nobody knew Scentsy, and I just kept going. And in February, we traveled. The first spring sprint was going to happen, and we decided to go to the one in Calgary rather than one in Ontario. That was the closest, because I could write off part of a trip home to see family. So we all went to Calgary in February, and I had booked a party with my best friend, my oldest child's godmother, Helen, while we were there. And I came out of Spring Sprint so motivated, even more, because I had gone to this event with this energy and these people that all loved everybody for who they were. And I was just accepted and welcomed, which was very different from what I'd experienced the previous few years with military wife communities. And these grown men, corporate men, were in tears of happiness talking about how much they loved the owners of this company and how legit and genuine they were. And I had a fire lit in me. And I did Helen's party, and because I was so lit, Helen joined. So that was my first recruit, the very last day of February, after joining in mid-October. And I did a fundraiser for the Autism Speaks warmer with another lady in March, which really got my motivation going, my momentum going with more and more parties. And the sales from that fundraiser got me promoted to star consultant by May. And I met lots of other recruits over those next few months. I got myself into everything I could do. I recognized it was going to cost money. I read everything I could read we had a forum back then. There was no Facebook groups for Scentsy. I loved the community and how sharing everybody was in this forum, though, that we had. And I just kept spreading that. And I knew I'd listened to a training about the seasons of Scentsy, which we're going to go over. There's a little hint into a little bit of what we're going to cover this over this course of this process. And I knew I had to start working in the spring to earn a trip the next fall. So I did. I worked it all year and all summer and had the most amazing fall ever. And I promoted to superstar consultant that August and director in September. And that was another one that was a challenge. If I earned director, Megan had a challenge on, and I was just going to make it happen. And I was going home in September as well. And so it's amazing what the feeling is amazing when you do things that you didn't think you could do. You guys already know this a little bit. So that's a little bit about what I want to be doing with you guys, is giving you those feelings so you get addicted to it too, and realize that you can inspire those on your team to do things they don't think they can do either, just for that feeling alone. And so, yeah, there it was. I didn't get a recruit till February, but I was a director by September. And we just kept growing it and built this amazing community. And I finally felt like I fit in. And that who I am was a good thing. My talkativeness, my outgoingness, my brain that, can remember useless information usually, but not, a person's name. But I could remember the stuff about the products, and I can teach people about the amazingness of these products, and that sticks in my brain. And I just didn't want to let that go. So it grew from there, many, many free trips, and trips that I've paid for, but instead of giving money to the government and taxes basically as write-offs, amazing friendships all over the world. And the biggest, two big benefits. I didn't really expect it was going to change me as much as it did, but that's because I didn't notice how much I'd been changed by my marriage and my unhappy life. Even though my mom and sisters and whatever had tried to tell me I seemed different and more negative, and I was just stressed. And when you're stressed, you're negative about everything. And I have been on a journey for the last 5 years, ever since my separation, and just looking at my mental health for the first time in my life and realizing that there's more to life than struggling through, and I could be happy, and I need to be happy to be a better mom. And so Scentsy guided me through that, and that's a big part of my Scentsy story, because if I didn't have my Scentsy family, I don't know where I would have been, because there are many, many, many examples of women who checked in on me every day, said the right things when I needed it, said the tough things when I needed it and maybe didn't want to hear it, and they've stood by me, even though I live so far from my family and haven't necessarily had the best relationship with my sisters anymore. I definitely have sisters in my Scentsy family and my family here in Halifax, which is why I stayed. And then... so now my new story, it was about trips. It was about getting to Superstar Director. And then I get there and I'm like, okay, well, now what? And so I'll tell you, now what is a whole new thing. And I know some of you who are newer are probably not used to seeing me like this, doing this kinds of stuff. But when I was getting this group ready today, I was going through old posts, and this is me. But I'd lost the real me a little bit again in the past couple of years with stresses that had come up, with yet another breakdown of a serious relationship, and then a new one that took work, and all of the work that had to happen on me in that process. And it's a beautiful thing that Scentsy allows us the flexibility to do that and work around that. And I could support my family as a single mom, but I maybe couldn't put into my business what I wanted to. And so I'm so excited that I can put in more for you guys again, and that I have more to offer you from myself, but also from my team, my family, because Troy, my partner in life, wants to be my partner in business too, and help out and do what he can. And he's been doing stuff with me so he can offer that perspective for other families considering it. Our kids are getting more and more involved in different ways. He's definitely the support at home, somebody else keeping the home fires burning as opposed to me when I was dealing with the tours to Afghanistan. as the spouse at home, but he certainly supports me in the business as well. And that just frees up so much more for you guys. And that's what we want to do. We want to be able to keep our personal business running and keep our customers happy, because that's important. And that slipped in my business when I was just focusing on you guys only to get through. And but also be able to give you guys that more of us, more value from him and I, and for your spouses to learn and watch and see what the potential is in this business. And leadership is the first part of that. Growing a team is how you build the business that involves the residual income and the lifestyle dreams and goals of being home all the time and having flexibility. Or yesterday we went to the dump in the middle of the day because we had done a bunch of work on Sunday, but the dump's not open. And because we both work from home, he still works his other job. But those are the benefits of both working from home, and you can do stuff like that. You can do that, and there's more to life than just working for somebody else every day. And so that's kind of what's to come. And this program, I'm super excited. I'll give you a little peek. That's full of books that I've ordered. I haven't even read them all. I've read some of them. And that's going to be a little bit part of our program, and it's something I want to offer all the leaders in my group too. So we are just getting started, you guys, and I hope this was helpful for those of you that don't know me as well, and I apologize to those of you that do, that had to listen again. But I can't wait to watch all of your videos and get to know you guys that much more better, and to see you guys build those bonds that I've had on my Scentsy journey that have meant the world to me in more than just my business. So have a great rest of your day and week, and keep watching this page every day. There'll be more challenges between now and Monday, or just check-in things, just to help us build the community. So don't wait too long to do your video. It's like a Band-Aid. If you're nervous, just rip it off and get it done. We are gonna love it. I can promise you that. All right, bye guys.